Hello, everyone. And now I recently just finished watching The Batman, and I thought it was a fantastic movie. I loved every bit of it. Robert Pattinson is a fantastic Batman, and honestly, in my opinion, this is the best Batman movie ever made. Period. And I mean this wholeheartedly. I'm not joking. I'm not like fooling anyone. I do think this is the best Batman movie ever made. I really do love it. First off, Robert Pattinson, I think is fantastic. I think he is a fantastic Bruce Wayne and Batman, especially this version of Bruce Wayne, who he's not like the normal playboy billionaire that we are used to when it comes to Bruce Wayne. He's kind of more secluded, and people call him emo Bruce Wayne. I don't see him as emo Bruce Wayne, but like Robert Pattinson does a fantastic job playing this version of Batman, very much like how Ben Affleck did a perfect job playing that version of Batman and Bruce Wayne. But I think Robert Pattinson did a fantastic job as Batman, and personally, I think his outfit is really cool. I think it's actually one. I think it might actually be my favorite live action version of the bat suit. I think it looks really cool, especially since like the bat symbol, it can he can take it off and it can basically become a knife. I think that's awesome. Like kind of using that bat symbol that has always been on Batman's outfit, always been on Batman's suit as an actual knife. I love that. I also really love Selena Kyle, like Catwoman in this movie. She she's really good, and I personally feel like we haven't really gotten a good live action version of Catwoman, and I really do believe this is really the first time we actually got a really good Catwoman. The I think it was Batman Returns, the first time Catwoman appeared in a Batman movie. I didn't like her that much in it, and I feel like Batman Arkham City was real. I feel like the Arkham games were really the only ones. Was I feel like the Arkham games were really the only time we really got a really good Catwoman. While like, but like now, like the Catwoman in Batman, I think is really good. The actress who plays her does a fantastic job with playing as Selena Kyle, and I love that like her outfit. It's not like how it is in the comics. It's literally just like a homemade outfit, which many people had an issue with, but I'm fine with it. It is very much like the beginning of Catwoman, and it doesn't have to look like the comics. Like it still looks good. And I also really like what this movie did with the Riddler, who, while I honestly personally prefer Jim Carrey's version of the Riddler, I still really do love this version. He was very intimidating, and he really made a great villain, and really showing Batman's more detective side rather than uh his combat side, which like but movies show his detective side, but not as much as his com as Batman in combat. Which this movie had a nice balance of showing both of them. But I think Riddler was great. But I think possibly my favorite thing about this movie was that like Batman and Jim Gordon was actually they seem like partners in this movie, and I personally love this. Jim Gordon is very much someone who he kind of always takes a back seat in stuff. Like even Christopher Nolan's Batman movies, like Commissioner Gordon was kind of just there. He I love Gary Oldman and as Commissioner Gordon, but he was kind of just there in those movies, and really every other Batman things like Commissioner Gordon is just there. I like that in this movie, Commissioner Gordon actually has a much bigger role, and he's there helping Batman, trying to find the Riddler, uncover the case, and he's helping Batman. He's basically Batman's sidekick in this movie, and I love this. I love this so much. I also really like the actor who plays Jim Gordon, who Honestly, I don't know if I would say he's better than Gary Oldman because I love Gary Oldman. I do. Uh, but he did do a fantastic job as Jim Gordon, and I love his interactions with Batman, and really how it really shows that they trust each other. Unlike previous versions, again, like it shows that like it's showing Jim Gordon as more than just a side character. Like it shows that he trusts Batman, that Batman trusts him, that they are partners and they help each other throughout the entirety of the movie. And I love this rather than just like Batman solving everything and Jim Gordon kind of just being there to pick up the pieces after Batman knocks out all the criminals. And I also really love the Iceberg Lounge scene and the whole scene with Penguin in this movie. And I like that Penguin was kind of just like a side character. He wasn't the main villain. He didn't take over too much screen time. He was there and he was a villain, but he didn't overtake the Riddler. And like the scenes with Penguin, they were just fantastic. Now, one of the biggest things that I'm seeing people complain about are the white eyes in the Batman, like in Batman's cowl. They're like, like so like Batman, like you can see like his white eyes or something like that. I don't even know what the problem is, but it's stupid. I never had it never bothered me that you could see like his eyes. That 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 never bothered me. To me, this is not an issue. People are just complaining for the sake of complaining, because like not once did it ever not once did it ever like cause an issue for me watching that. I could see his eyes. Like, come on. But honestly, I after watching this movie, Robert Pattinson, honestly, he's my second favorite Batman. I really love Robert Pattinson as Batman, and especially when I first heard the news, all I knew Robert Pattinson from was Twilight. So I was like, oh, they got to do playing Twilight, like we got to do from Twilight playing Batman. But dude, Robert Pattinson did a fantastic job as both Bruce Wayne and as Batman, and honestly, he's my second favorite version of Batman after Ben Affleck's version. Like, honestly, at this point, Kevin Conroy's Batman isn't even my favorite version of Batman anymore because both Ben Affleck and Robert Pattinson have taken over that place, and that's something I never would have expected to happen because how much I loved Kevin Conroy as Batman in both the animated Batman series and the Arkham games. And like I honestly love that this version of Bruce Wayne is like you see that like I think the director of this movie, like he put it best when he was like he doesn't know how to be Bruce Wayne. Like he's been Batman so much that like he doesn't know how not to be Batman. And like even the scene where like he's out in public as Bruce Wayne, you can still kind of tell that he's acting like Batman. He's not acting like Bruce Wayne. And like again, I love this. I just love this version of Bruce Wayne that we see in this rather than the billionaire playboy that we are all used to. The fight scenes in this movie, well, they were all awesome. They were so good. The like every fight scene, especially the way Batman fought, it looked so good. Everything looked amazing, and like people complain that they say Batman had plot armor because nobody shot his jaw. Dude, we could say that about everything. To people complaining about that, you could use that for every piece of anything that Batman's in. You could be like, why didn't people aim for his jaw? Like, it's a stupid argument. It's not even a complaint. The fight scenes were amazing, and like I honestly love that. Like how much like anytime Batman got hit, you honestly really saw how annoyed he was. Like he got hit, and then he would hit back even harder, just because how mad and annoyed he was when he did get hit or shot. I thought that was hilarious. Like really anytime, because like you see him get hit, and then you kind of see him get more angry and just start beating the shit out of anyone that he was fighting. And I also really love that, like at the end of the movie, Batman, like Bruce, kind of realized that he needs to become that he needs to be a symbol of hope, not a symbol, not a symbol of vengeance, but of hope. And there's a people going on about how Batman isn't a symbol of hope, Superman is, but dude, Batman is a symbol of hope, but in a different way, like in a different way than Superman. But like, man, like, I really love that ending, like, especially like the whole scene of like him rescuing the civilians from the flood. It this movie is just fantastic. I loved it so much. In my opinion, this is easily the best Batman movie ever. And like so much people are complaining about how Batman's by himself. Why don't we have Robin? Like why don't we have Robin in a Batman movie? Why don't we have Dick Grayson? Honestly, I don't care about that. I don't care about that. Frankly, I don't really want a Batman and Robin movie. How we had a Batman and Robin movie, everybody hated it. But I'm fine. I'm fine, and I prefer Batman being on his own. And the Batman is a perfect example of that. Like that is such a fantastic. This is such a fantastic movie. I love it so much, and this is easily the best Batman movie ever made.